Hey guys, in this video, we are going to be looking at some interior detailing tools and products that are really necessary to have in the wintertime. And I'm also going to give you a pretty full explanation of why these are necessary winter tools and products, particularly for the interior, how they speed me up, and why exactly I use them, giving all the reasons behind that. So you guys are looking at the before shots of just this mom SUV that's really never been detailed, that has come into the Wilson Auto Detailing world, communicated with my customer on the front end, so everything is very, very clear and expectations are set. So let's go ahead and get into the detail. Now, the reason why this subject is really important is simply because the wintertime represents a lot of different issues. There's a lot of guys who are saying, number one, my business is slowing down in general. I'm not getting a bunch of customers as it is. But secondly, and next to that, probably number one problem is it's taking me a while to detail. It's really cold outside. It might be snowing where you are. It's really, really, really cold, and I'm dealing with different elements like road salt, snow, ice, all of that sort of stuff. Now, the very first thing that must be talked about and is probably most obvious just from the onset start of this video is my steamer. I do use the VX5000 steamer. This is about a $900 steamer. It's been faithful to me ever since I got it about, say, 4 years ago, I believe, is when I started with the VX5000. However, there are, of course, other steamers available on the market that are much less expensive that are used by detailers all the time. But a steamer makes absolutely the most sense as far as a tool perspective is concerned in the wintertime because it keeps your hands warm. And everybody knows if you've detailed in the wintertime before, of which I have detailed through many winters, your hands get cold and your fingers get cold, and it kind of hurts to detail. So I actually use my steamer far more often than not in the wintertime with basically everything and every single part of the detail, if it's just for nothing else but to keep my hands warm. Now, second tool you're going to see here is the Work Stuff detailing brushes. The Work Stuff detailing brushes are the detailing brushes that I kind of default to sending everyone to these days because there's a lot of variety as far as a lot of option as far as what you need when it comes to those brushes, so you can choose from a bunch of different ones. But in addition to that, they actually just came out with a couple new brushes. One has a rubber handle that looks like this. This is not necessarily a new brush actually, but it is what I'm kind of using now because it's really easy to work with ergonomically. No, this is not a sponsored video. I'm just trying to push you guys to my most updated tools and products. They also have some dusting brushes, some very simple, kind of very, very soft, almost makeup brushes, if you will, that look like this as well. And these have become my default dusting brushes. And if I ever need to use anything on the outside, for example, with paint that I'm polishing, these are going to be my go-tos as well. Now, from a chemical and products perspective, what I'm using here in this spray bottle you see in the video on the driver's side seat is the Citrus Safe Touch All-Purpose Cleaner from Renegade. Essentially, this Citrus Safe Touch all-purpose cleaner is what I've been describing as my go-to all-purpose cleaner for any kind of more dirty interior place where that's never been detailed before, particularly with this vehicle. Just to give you a little bit of context, one of the things that you'll find with these interior really light colored vehicles, from the leather seats that are kind of a light gray, not even really tan, to the running boards, to everything that you can kind of see in the vehicle that's plastic, that's other than the carpets, you kind of have this really light appearance. Well, on a vehicle like this that's actually never been detailed before, at least at the level that I'm detailing it now, you actually peel this film off of the entire interior, so much so to the point where when you're done, these pieces of the interior literally look like a new color. There was such a thick grease grime film coating everything that I'm like ripping it off, stripping it off, and protecting it. And you basically have like, it almost looks like the interior is white. Not that it is white, it's really just a very light gray, but again, against and kind of juxtaposed with that previous color that had that dirt film on it, the interior just looks so much brighter. It's really interesting, and you'll see that difference in the before and after. We'll look at some after shots after we get done. But more on the Citrus Safe Touch All-Purpose Cleaner from Renegade. This is once again my default APC for a really dirty vehicle. You can see I'm using it on every single surface, from the scuff marks that I need to pull off with the Magic Eraser, as well as the leather seats to the dashboard, really everything that you're going to see in this video. There's a couple reasons for that. Number one, this cuts my time virtually in half. From the leather seats to the carpet to anything I'm using it on, it actually cuts my time like by 50%. Whereas if I was using something like Meguiar's 10-to-1 APC, it's just not going to be a strong enough cleaner for what I want to address in this particular video to meet the expectations that I've decided with my customer. And that is going to be extremely important for obvious reasons in the wintertime. I don't want to be outside any longer than I have to be, right? So if I can cut my time in half with a chemical, I am absolutely going to be reaching for that. Now, in addition to that, I said before, and I'll say it in many of my videos, this is my go-to for dirty interiors. Well, in the wintertime, what am I seeing? 90% of the time, I'm seeing some mud on the interior, some dirt, especially on the carpet areas. There's going to be a ton of sort of fog, fingerprints, and stuff like that on the windows. There's all this crap in the wintertime that accrues that really doesn't accrue in the springtime, fall time, summertime, at least here in Middle Tennessee. And so this particular chemical is going to work very well when I'm just trying to cut to the chase and get some of this heavier dirt off. So it just makes sense for me to reach for that, not have to worry about other chemicals, and I can use this on the door jambs. I can use it on, again, dashboards, hard plastics, leathers, carpets, all of that sort of stuff. Now, in addition to that, a tool that I just mentioned very briefly was the Magic Eraser. The Magic Eraser is going to be used on the leather in this particular video pretty aggressively, and you're going to be able to see that in the video, and there's a few justifications for that. Number one, the Magic Eraser here is pretty necessary because, like I said, we're dealing with this lighter colored interior, and anytime I'm doing that, I'm actually ripping dirt off, stripping it off, and the Magic Eraser is going to do that very quickly. But in addition to that, a lot of this revolves around the fact that I don't want to spend time outside in the wintertime, especially when my hands are cold. So when I can use a tool that's going to, once again, cut to the chase, like the Magic Eraser is on virtually every part of the car here, so you can see not only am I going to be using it on the leather, but I'm also going to be using it on the kind of like the inner walls of the car, I guess you could say, like the A and B pillars, any of the hard rubber, vinyl, leathers, and plastics that have any sort of heavy amount of dirt or scuff marks that need to be addressed. So it's just going to make my time very, very quick, very easy, and I don't have to worry about things. You might be noticing, like I said in the beginning of this video, I actually use my steamer far more in the wintertime than I even have to. There are times when I might pull it out, even though it might be a little bit quicker to use a chemical, just because I want to warm up. There's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't have a steamer. I say it all the time, but I'll say it again. A steamer is probably the most fundamental, necessary tool when it comes to auto detailing, so it just does not make sense not to have it. I promise you, it's something that is going to benefit you in way more ways than just one, and honestly, in a lot more ways than I'm going to be able to describe in a quick YouTube video here. Now, I want to give you guys one of the most straightforward, simple, but practical business tips in your detailing business that you need to capitalize on, particularly in the wintertime, and I'll explain just a couple reasons why that is. You know, on the channel, I'm talking all the time about regular clients, about maintenance clients, about essentially treating your detailing business and your customers as if they are not disposable and doing more than one interaction, business interaction with each customer, actually setting this up as a sort of maintenance funnel in your business. Well, a lot of the times you get questions like, well, how do I approach my customers about becoming maintenance clients, and how do I actually funnel them into this area of my business? How do I convince them? How do I sell them? One of the biggest things that affects this area, because of course, yes, you can have scripts and you can have all the right things to say and all that sort of stuff, but timing is a huge part. I can tell you in 10 years, in a decade of detailing, timing is a gigantic part of doing this, and making sure that you capitalize and kind of strike while the iron's hot sort of mentality is what is going to create a lot of success in this area. So I just want to explain to you what I mean. A lot of times, guys look at the wintertime as if wintertime is a place where it's like the dead period of detailing. It's not going to be a place where I can succeed and do all these things. Actually, quite the opposite is true, particularly when it comes to maintenance clients. So what I mean here is this. Particularly going into the wintertime, and then anytime in the winter where you've had snow, rain, or any element whatsoever, or maybe it's just been cold for a little while. This is one of the perfect times to, particularly after you have a customer already in the funnel you might be detailing for, to tell them, hey, I'm going to be following up with you in like 60 days because either we're going to be coming out of winter, depending on where you live, or we're going to be in the middle of winter, we're going to have another snow, we're going to have another rain. I know detailing isn't your top priority. I would love to follow up with you in about 60 days, offer you my maintenance price, and just, there's no pressure, just let them know that you're going to be doing it. And again, put that, hey, there's no pressure, none of that. I just want to make sure that in the wintertime, your car's taken care of, all this sort of stuff. What's amazing is a ton of the maintenance clients that I actually built up even when I was in school. Of course, that's years ago, but when I was in school and I built up a ton of maintenance clients, half of those were actually done in the winter using this strategy, because as much as you think it might not actually be something that people are thinking about in the wintertime, in many ways I found this not to be the truth. A lot of times it just took a little bit of actually intentionality and reaching out to the customers on almost like on on their behalf, but kind of just not leaving the ball in their court. This was a huge thing when it came to dealing with customers in a sort of maintenance client strategy sort of way. And so I think actually a more healthy way to look at winter is not that it's a dead period for detailing, but it's a period where people are not going to be as intentional about it, but it can be capitalized on by you if you take the torch and become the one who is intentional about it. So as you guys look at the after result, you can kind of see the much lighter color of the car. Like I was explaining, it almost looks like a new car or a new color of the interior. If you guys want to see the products and tools that I mentioned in this video, as well as any others used in this video, go below in the YouTube description box and grab those, as well as my free guide to starting your auto detailing business for under $500. Make sure you go grab that guide, because I'm going to list out the fundamental tools and products that you need in order to start in this business so you don't have that learning curve. Guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like the content, and as always from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I will talk to you guys and see you in the next video.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.